What's up guys, Matty Ice, and today we are going to be doing a cooking video. I saw this viral pasta on TikTok that's been going around for a couple years now. It originally came out of somewhere like Sweden or Finland, and it became like so popular that feta cheese sales grew 300% in a day to the point where they could not keep up to it. I mean, they were talking thousands of percent increase in sale of just cheese because people saw this recipe and it took off from there. I think it sounds pretty good, but I wanted to try and make it and see if it lives up to the hype. And I also want to see if I can improve on it because I think there's a little bit of room to make this better. So for tonight, we will be making the viral Unnifeta pasta. Let's check out the video and see how it's done. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's Unnifeta pasta. So, normally, you take your nice medley of tomatoes. I got some multicolored ones right here. I thought those looked pretty cool. And then you got your feta cheese, of course. You've got garlic clove, some red pepper, and then basil. And the other important ingredient, olive oil. That's going to pretty much be your sauce. And then you put it on a type of pasta, whatever pasta you really like. In our case, I'm just going to be using a traditional spaghetti noodle pasta. You could use farfalle, you could use penne, you could use linguine, rigatoni, elbow, pretty much whatever you want. I see cavatappi fairly often as well, so that might be a good one. So in this pan, we'll make it the way they say to make it because it looks good. And honestly, I think it's probably going to taste very good. We'll turn on light here to give some more light on our ingredients. And then what am I going to do to make this better? Well, I think this might be the key ingredient to my pasta. We're going to add everything you would to the normal one plus a shallot. I think if we quarter the shallot up, toss it in, that's going to add a nice sweetness to the dish. And I also want to add some green. So we'll put in some baby spinach. Not a lot, just a little bit. Something to give it a little bit more color. And then, you know, add a little bit of maybe like some earthiness to the dish. So let's crack open these because we have to rinse these first, and let's start making this pasta. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that little kind of TikTok-esque preparation of that TikTok one. I figured I'd go through my version directly because this one's going to be something you can't find online. So we're going to start by filling the bottom with oil, just like we did with the other one. And we got full coverage there, so I think that's more than enough. A tiny bit more right there. There you go, a little splash, little the gabagool, if you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, next. Spinach time. I'm gonna put the spinach on the very bottom so it stays in the oil. And we don't want a ton. We're just, kind of artistically doing the Salt Bay thing. We're throwing some spinach in the bottom. Some spinaccio, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Okay, spinaccio done. After that, we are going to add our garlic, but I think they made a big mistake on Tic Tac with the garlic. They put this garlic in whole. Yeah, it's gonna roast in the oven, but you're gonna miss out on all that delicious juice, eh? You like it, a juice? So let's crack our garlic first. I think if we crack it, we don't necessarily need to dice it or get it too minced up. We can crack it a little bit. There we go. Crush it up. Get some crush. We're gonna crush on this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, brothers. Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay. Wow, I really crunched those. And man, some of these garlics, this was freaking huge. Got a nice little crack on there. We'll toss that right on. Little crack on that one. All right, okay. Yeah, okay, guys. Peace, not warm, okay? I'll throw a little. Wow. Is this spinach absorbing some of our oil? Okay. A little bit more, actually. Man, must not have had enough in there. So now we've got our garlic cracked. So we're gonna have garlic oil infusing into the olive oil. It's like a triple infusion. It's like if we had Inception for oil. Okay, on top of all that, let's add our tomatoes. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I call a tomato. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, after that, shallot time, baby. All I'm going to do is cut the end off this, peel the top, and then we're gonna quarter it. Just quartered her up. We'll toss her right in there in the oil with everything else. I think, I really like shallots. They have a nice sweetness to a dish. When you don't want to add onions, they also kind of make you look a little fancy. And then our feta. I'll say it like people who are from wherever feta's from. I think Greece. There's the feta. That was more Italian. The feta. That was Russian. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, so here's my version. Wow. And then that's the TikTok version. So I am going to put just a tiny little bit of dried basil on top, like I did on the other one. There we go. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And tiny little bit of red pepper flake as well. And like any good dish, you gotta put a tiny little crack of salt on each one and a tiny little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. All right, brothers, I've got the oven preheated to 400 degrees. These are supposed to bake for approximately 30 minutes. So we'll put them in, check on them at 30 minutes, and then we'll get our pasta going when it's getting close time to pull them, and then we'll check back in. All right, and as you guys saw, that's it. It's ready to go. So I figured we'd get 2 bowls out, and we're going to put, this is TikTok's, this is my version. We'll put them in here with some pasta, which is already drained, and I reserved some pasta water in case we need it to thicken it up. But I figured this will give us a nice little way to combine it all, because I figured in these little pans it's probably a little bit messy to do it that way. There we go. We don't have to, and I did a little bit over a pound of pasta. So there we go. Get some pasta in both. I think that's looking like a good amount. And I can tell there's probably too much oil in both of these. So we're gonna try and work around that because there's nothing worse than super oily pasta. Now these tins are still super, super hot. So it's gonna be interesting. I'll do my best to scoop everything out and pour some in. But I kinda wanna, you know, give you guys the first-hand experience right here. Here we go. Let's scoop. Oh yeah, look at that. The cheese does melt into this very nicely. I was kind of happy with that. And the tomatoes are like nice and blistered. Oh man, we're gonna end up adding most of this oil, aren't we? Okay, so we'll leave it flat like this so we can scoop as much out as possible to get all that goodness. Yeah, whatever. Yellow once. Just add it. Do it. Just do it. Okay. Ooh, yeah. We'll let that sit there for a second, and then this one, yeah, look, I got way too much oil. We'll pour some of that off. That's looking a little bit better. Okay, so let's just add it in. Do it. Just do it. And I can tell that the spinach, one thing I didn't anticipate, released some moisture into this, so I was unintended, but you know what? YOLO once, as they say. Okay, now we're just going to toss the pastas. We'll toss this one first. And I'm going to be trying these, but I'm also going to have Square give these a try. We're going to see what Square thinks about them. Okay, that one looks like it's pretty well mixed. Let's move on to this one. All right, put our little POW tomato in there. Okay, now before we grab Square, I am going to give both a sample and see if they taste good. Alright, got our fork here. We'll get a little bit of pasta. We'll try to get a tomato right there. Oh, I do not want a big piece of garlic and blow out my palate. There we go, that's a tomato. I thought that was garlic for a minute. Okay, let's get a little bit. Oh man, this is hard to do with one hand. Okay. Ooh, that's good. You can definitely taste the tomato and the oil. Like I thought, there's not much garlic going on. I'm kind of disappointed with that one. A little bit of the cheese flavor. It's oily. That's probably on me. Okay, we got a little bit of spinach. We get a little shallot in here, and we got some tomato right there. Curl her up. Ooh, man, she keeps falling. Okay, that looks like a heck of a bite. Let's blow on it real quick so it doesn't... I can immediately tell you that's the winner. That crack of the garlic was the killer difference. Yes, it's nice that it has the spinach in there, and the shallot adds a nice sweetness, but my goodness, that cracked garlic transforms that oil. Whereas this one, I don't really get that garlic flavor, and unless I'm biting into like that clove of garlic right there, I'm not gonna taste it. So let's go grab Square and see what she thinks. All right, so now we got Square here, and she's gonna try pasta one. Make sure you get a little bit of everything, not just the pasta.
I know.
Oh, there you go, you got one. Oh yeah. Ooh, wow, that's a heck of a bite. All right, let's see what she thinks of this one.
It doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's just the tomatoes and the spaghetti, that's all I taste, and a little bit of the feta.
All right, next. So her comment of the first one, lacking in flavor, mostly tomatoes, a little bit of feta. Let's have her get a bit of everything in this one. Oh, there she goes. She got a little bit of everything on that one. Let's see what she thinks of this one.
I like that one a little bit better because it's kind of got a creaminess to it, and you can taste the onions and the tomatoes and the feta. It's got a lot more flavor than that one, I believe.
Well, I beat TikTok because the first pasta was the TikTok version of the Unnifeta, and the next version was mine that added shallots and spinach. In addition to that, I cracked my garlic, whereas the garlic is whole in this first recipe. So you guys can give these a try and make additions. You know, I think another probably good addition to this would be fresh basil. I wish I had some because I think that would be really nice on top and that might add some extra flavor. So maybe this one with that fresh basil hits that threshold to take it up a notch. But I think if you're going to make this one, guys, crush your garlic or dice it up because it just needs some vehicle to get that oil into that, or get that garlic oil essence into the olive oil so you have a nice overall tasting dish. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. We'll catch you next time. And as always, have a good night.